Does Jesus have authority to forgive sins? Did Jesus spend time with sinners? Will Christians fast? Is Jesus Lord of the Sabbath? Let's find out in Mark 2. What happened in Capernaum? And again he entered Capernaum after some days, and it was heard that he was in the house. Immediately many gathered together, so that there was no longer room to receive them, not even near the door, and he preached the word to them. Did Jesus heal a paralyzed man? Did he offend religious leaders? 4 men arrived carrying a paralyzed man on a mat. They couldn't bring him to Jesus because of the crowd, so they dug a hole through the roof above his head. Then they lowered the man on his mat right down in front of Jesus. Seeing their faith, Jesus said to the paralyzed man, "My child, your sins are forgiven." But some of the teachers of religious law who were sitting there thought to themselves, "What's he saying? This is blasphemy. Only God can forgive sins." Did Jesus know what was in the religious leaders' hearts? How did he answer them? Immediately Jesus, perceiving in his spirit that they so reasoned within themselves, said to them, "Why do you reason these things in your hearts? Which is easier, to tell the paralytic, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Arise and take up your bed and walk'?" What kind of authority did Jesus have on earth? What did he tell the paralyzed man? "But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins," he said to the paralytic, "I tell you, arise, take up your mat, and go to your house." What did Jesus do with the paralyzed man? Were the people amazed? Jesus raised him up, and right away he picked up his mat and walked out in front of everybody. They were all amazed and praised God, saying, "We've never seen anything like this." While teaching a crowd, who did Jesus see? Did Levi or Matthew hesitate to follow Jesus? Once again, Jesus went to the shore of Lake Galilee. A large crowd gathered around him, and he taught them. As he walked along, he saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus. Levi was sitting at the place for paying taxes, and Jesus said to him, "Follow me." So he got up and went with Jesus. At Matthew's house, what did the Pharisees criticize Jesus for? And as he reclined at table in his house, many tax collectors and sinners were reclining with Jesus and his disciples, for there were many who followed him. And the scribes of the Pharisees, when they saw that he was eating with sinners and tax collectors, said to his disciples, "Why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners?" What was Jesus' answer to their hoity-toity attitude? Was he disgusted? When Jesus heard this, he told them, "Those who are well don't need a doctor, but the sick do need one. I didn't come to call the righteous, but sinners." What did John's disciples ask about fasting? Will Christians eventually fast? Now, John's disciples and the Pharisees would fast regularly. Some people came and asked Jesus, "Why do John's disciples and the Pharisees' disciples fast, but your disciples don't fast?" What was Jesus' reply? Will we fast? And Jesus said to them, "Can the children of the bride chamber fast while the bridegroom's with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then shall they fast in those days." Jesus bring new wine and new ways? No one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. Otherwise, that patch pulls away from it, the new from the old, and a worse tear results. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and the wine is lost, and the skins as well. But one puts new wine into fresh wineskins. Did that new wine include a new approach to the Sabbath? And it happened that he was passing through the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his disciples began to make their way along while picking the heads of grain. The Pharisees were saying to him, "Look, why are they doing what's not lawful on the Sabbath?" What did Jesus say about the Sabbath? How does this apply to us? He answered, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry and in need? In the days of Abiathar the high priest, he entered the house of God and ate the consecrated bread, which is lawful only for priests to eat, and he also gave some to his companions. Then he said to them, 'The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath.'" Does Jesus have authority to forgive sins? Did Jesus spend time with sinners? Will Christians fast? Is Jesus Lord of the Sabbath? You decide.